All right, so it's over. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. I think the first thing you should, I'll try and go through this as quickly as possible, but the first thing you should mention is just how much smaller Max looked in there compared to Poirier. I think that's an interesting thing that I didn't really consider is that Poirier's had a bunch of fights at lightweight, and he can, his body's accustomed to being, he's kind of on the bigger side of the lightweights at this point because he's gotten a lot older. And if you go look back at the Lamas versus Holloway fight, he almost looks bigger in that fight against Lamas. I mean, I know it was probably a good idea for the team to not put on too much muscle for Max for this fight, and rather just make it less of a weight cut because you don't want him carrying a whole bunch of extra weight around and then gassing or. But I think if he does come back up to lightweight, which I think he should go down to featherweight one more time, and maybe if Volkanovski gets past Jose Aldo, or if Jose Aldo pulls out of that fight, because I know he has a knee injury or a knee infection or something, then he'll probably fight him. And I think that he's just about done at featherweight. He's done everything there is to do. His Moicano's down there as well, but he's he just lost to Aldo, so he might need an extra win or two to get to that title position. But yeah, if he comes back up, I think he should put a bit more weight on, especially through the back and the neck. He'll just be able to absorb some of these shots a bit better. Not that he did get hit really hard and was able to just keep going, and he's obviously, he didn't look, even though he was hurt, he didn't look like he was, he was ever really that phased by it. So that's probably the first thing I mentioned. It's just the size difference, and I think a few more fights at lightweight, or maybe even just one more fight at lightweight, and he'll be able to figure out that kind of weight. He just seemed like he was at a disadvantage there in there. It didn't affect his takedown defense. I mean, the only thing with his takedown defense was that when Dustin was shooting for a double against the fence, Holloway tends to grab like a guillotine, which makes Poirier have to kind of lift his head up a little bit, and then Holloway easily gets that underhook if he doesn't already have it, and rotates him into the fence, and he gets away. The only thing with that is it just takes a lot of time then diving straight for the underhook, feeding it to the other leg, so Dustin has a single, and then he can defend the single and then get away. I mean, his technique was perfectly almost every single time with that guillotine to underhook to rotating. But it just, like I said, in the fifth round, he was up against the fence, and it just takes like 30 or 40 seconds, and I think it just slows down the fight, and that's what I think Max just thrives on momentum, and if he can make that getting off the cage a little bit quicker, then I think it would benefit him a lot. Another thing was the judges' scorecards. I couldn't understand how Max only won. How they all had him only winning one round. I thought he had the third and the fourth. I mean, I don't know. In the fourth he got cut, but it only grazed him, and he wasn't rock bottom. He was just bleeding. In the fourth he hit Holloway a lot. Hit Porier a lot, but then that Porier kind of stalled a little bit against the fence for that one. And then the same thing happened for the co-main event for the fifth round. My phone just started buffering, and I missed half the fight. I was going to go back and watch it, but I thought I'd just give my thoughts, even though I haven't gone back and watched it again. But yeah, I think if Max can, I really thought Max would get the better of him, but there's just those, Dustin was leaping in with those overhands or those hooks. I know Max does tend to stand in the pocket a little bit, and he's right there to counter. So if he can he's very hittable. If you find that even though in that Ortega fight he dominated Ortega, but he did get hit a lot. It's because he stands. He'll take one to give two, or he'll take two to give one. I mean, he's just at this point he has such confidence in his chin and his durability that it's almost a detriment to. It wasn't this fight anyway. I mean, he got his head knocked around quite a lot, but he was able to eat these shots. So if he does go back down to featherweight, I can't imagine Volkanovski or Moicano beating him. And for Poirier, I mean, at this point, yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see him up against Khabib because he does hit. I mean, Poirier hits super hard. He's obviously got good takedown defense. And yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Poirier. I'm super excited to see this Khabib fight. If it's another one of those things, if Khabib gets him down, it's going to be, it could be, it's the same as like every high level Khabib fight. It's that kind of question mark. It's the same kind of thing as McGregor. If McGregor can hit him or if Khabib can get him down. It turned out that McGregor couldn't hit him at all, and Khabib actually hit him. but I think Poirier is a more dangerous matchup to than Connor was anyway. So Poirier is going to be able to. If he does get down, he should be he'll be able to get up at least in those first few rounds. And then Poirier is he's got a strong mind, stronger than McGregor's mind, that's for sure. Because McGregor in that fourth round he gave him that choke, or he gave him that neck crank. He turned away from him, gave him the neck rather than turning into him and eating more shots. Which, I mean, it's easy to sit back and just be like, oh yeah, he should have done that. He should have turned into him and eaten more shots. But I mean, at some point, most people are going to break, and I think that was when he broke, if he wasn't broken already. But Poirier, I mean, we've seen it before. He'll take a lot of damage. He'll go out before he quits. Especially, this is going to be a big fight, a big exciting fight. So I'm interested to see how this one's going to play out. I think Poirier is a dangerous dude. And then if Khabib does get past Poirier, there's some interesting matchups coming down the pipeline for him anyway. But Max, he lost I think it's a 13-fight win streak at this point, and that has been beaten. But I mean, he's still he still hasn't lost at featherweight for a long time. So I think he goes down there, gets one more fight in, one more title defense, and then he should take some time off, put on a bit of extra muscle, spend some time in the gym at a bigger weight, staying that kind of and just see how as he moves up, he's gonna he just did 5 rounds, and in my opinion, if the judges had to give him the given the scores to Max, I wouldn't have been super shocked. Like, it wouldn't have been the worst decision. I did think Poirier got the best of him, even though I was super biased. But I think Max he's not done it that way. I think one more fight at featherweight, maybe at the end of the year. At this point, maybe October or November. I don't know. Maybe he'll be super hungry to get back in there. He's the kind of guy that would want to avenge or get straight back on the horse after a loss. And as we've seen with these previous losses as well, I mean, he only just got better and better. So, I mean, it's kind of scary to think how much better he might get after this loss. So, anyway, that's about it.